more pronounced. "No, this light won't do at all," he hissed, nodding in the direction of the café. Its windows projected bright yellow rectangles that illuminated this entire stretch of the street. Limoëlin, without a word, pulled on the horse's bridle. The animal snorted and set forth reluctantly. They moved the cart 30 yards down Rue Niquez at the intersection of Rue de Malte. It was darker there, and the other street provided an escape route, should any of them escape. Limoëlin stopped the cart sideways to impede the flow of traffic. Other drivers pulled on their reins, swerved and cursed at the three men who ignored the volley of insults. Each in turn went into the Café d'Apollon and, grim-faced, gulped down in silence mug after mug of wine. Their purpose was firm, of course, and they were entirely devoted to the holiest of causes. Yet such is human frailty that even the bravest fear death. Had not some of the saints themselves, though assured of the rewards that awaited them in eternal life, recoiled from the glory of martyrdom? The three men, braced by their visits to the Café d'Apollon, gathered again around the cart. Limoëlin spoke in a low voice to his companions, and left in the direction of the Seine River. Carbon seized the bridle of the horse and looked around. He whistled at a young woman, who hurried away. Limoëlin walked along the embankment that followed the Louvre galleries. He paused, took off his gold-rimmed spectacles and wiped them with a checkered handkerchief. He groaned with impatience. How was he to find what he wanted in this fog? He pushed to the Pont Royal, the Liberty Bridge, as the scoundrels now had the impudence to call it. He crossed the river. On the left bank he recognized the massive outline of the former hackney's office, which had recently been turned into barracks. Among the flow of the passers-by he finally distinguished two slight figures standing under a streetlight by the entrance. Children, apparently. He approached. Now he could see their skirts. Two girls, little street vendors, stomping their feet in the cold. Each carried a wicker tray attached by a leather strap to her shoulder. Limoëlin paused. Either girl would do, but he needed only one. It bothered him to make that choice. Then when he drew very close, he saw that the tray of one of the street vendors contained a few cakes and biscuits. The other girl had already sold all of her wares and was apparently waiting for her companion to be done. No doubt it was a sign. She was the chosen one. Limoëlin addressed her gently. A smile lit her pock-marked face when he put a silver coin in her hand. She giggled, slipped the strap over her head and handed the other girl her empty tray. "Take it home to Mamma, will you?" she said in a cheerful tone. As the girl followed Limoëlin across the river to Rue Niquez, he turned around to glance at her bony frame, dressed in a tattered striped skirt. She was gathering around her neck the collar of a woolen coat. The sleeves were too short and left her wrists, red with cold, bare. How old was she? 12, 13. He had not asked her name. It did not matter. He shivered and resolved not to look at her again. "Hurry, will you?" he said, looking straight ahead. "We haven't all night." She pressed on and almost caught up with him. They joined the cart and the other men. Limoëlin gave the girl the bridle to hold. "Remember, no matter what, the horse must not move at all," he said as he handed her the whip. "It is very important. Do you understand?" She nodded. "Oh, don't worry, sir. I'll be very, very careful." The horse was covered with sweat and kept its head down. It was content to sniff noisily at discarded cabbage leaves on the cobblestones and seemed in no mood to canter away. The girl waited, shifted her weight from one foot to the other, patted the horse's neck, toyed with the whip. Limoëlin pulled his watch. The time was near. He exchanged a glance with Saint-Régent and nodded. Limoëlin left to post himself at the intersection of Rue Niquez and Place du Carrousel. Soon he saw a cortege of carriages leaving the palace and heading his way. He shuddered. At last. He'd waited so long for this moment. A few more seconds, and it would be all over.